What is up, everybody? It's your boy Bruce Wulfe back with you again on another video on Bless Online. So last video I gave you a first impressions and some general thoughts on the game and some just like an overview on it. This one I'm going to give you tips and tricks for just starting out for the release on Monday. So first thing, we're actually going to hit this button. I had to do a pretty intro. And we're back. Alright, so just dodge the loading screen. As you can see, I've got a couple characters here. I've got several up to higher levels, and then I go back and delete them and create another one or a different one, trying out different things. But this is a character creation. There's two factions. Once you make a character in a faction, until that character is deleted, you can't make one in the other faction. As you can see, Union's all locked off to me. I'd have to delete every character of Huron that I have to make one for over here. Something to remember. Pick carefully. It's your faction throughout the game. Now, we'll go in here. We'll go over the races. Both sides have basically the same races. There's just different backstory and some different colorations and so on them. So, basic human. Pretty typical. Elf. Pretty typical elf. Lupus. Badass beastman. Cool shit. But, and Masku. Little teeny bastard. Oh, here, hold on. This is funny. Imagine this dude's like, comes up to this dude's ankle. He's using an axe almost the same size. It's really funny. Anyway. So, the basic classes. I'm going to sit on Masku because he can use all classes. Guardians, Armor, Sword, and Shield. Guardians of the battlefield are always in the front lines. AKA tank. They're CC rich. They have a lot of different CCs that they can do. Bunch of stuns, freaking invulnerable, like, they got tricks. Damage, not so much. But they got tricks. They can stay alive. They will keep getting hit and the rest of the party can kill whatever. In PvP, they're stun bots, so they're really hard to kill because of that. They have a lot of HP, a lot of armor. They're hard to kill. Shocker, they're a tank. Weird, I know. Okay, a Berserker. Melee DPS, uses a giant two-handed axe. Pretty damn good DPS. The thing to note with him is almost every one of his attacks is AoE. Now this is a good thing because he's a brute at clearing trash and just farming mobs and all that stuff. He's a little brute. Survivability, he's got pretty good. He's got high parry, he can do dodging. You know, he's got a few things to keep him alive. Is he a tank? No. Do you want him getting hit by the boss? Absolutely not. But can he stay alive if he gets hit a little bit? Sure. Sure, totally can. Does he tend to pull a lot of aggro because everything's an AoE? Yeah, he does. Makes it real fun to play him. He's got great animations, really decent mobility. He's all around fun play. If you like melee DPS, he's a thing. Assassin, we won't have an American release. They scheduled it for the first update after that. But, so I'll just give you a quick overview of how he felt for me. Assassins are ruthless and exist only to take an opponent's life. Shocker, they're called an assassin. Weird. Anyway, so these are your typical assassin. They have stealth, they have backstab, they have a debuff that they can stack and then explode for a lot of damage. That's pretty much how it is. Their regular attacks, they hit fast, small amounts, but really, really fast. They are fairly squishy, but again, they have their survivability things. They have high evasion. They have some parry, stuff like that. Once it comes out, if you like PvP, there's going to be a lot of people playing it as a PvP because it is open world PvP or arena PvP, both of which, like, you're going, a little stealthy assassin has his place for sure. But other than that, pretty typical. As I said in my last video, most of these classes, like, there's nothing real new about them, so you're going to recognize them pretty easily. And if you've liked them in another game, chances are you're going to like them here. But I still want to go over them for you. So, Archer, Ranger. So, you have traps. You can do a couple CC, a couple stuns, a few dots. Mostly, you are burst DPS. The only thing different in this game versus most Ranger games with Rangers, most of the time, Rangers are highly mobile, sustained, and burst DPS, but they're very mobile is the key point there. In this game, most of your stances increase your critical chance for example, increase your critical chance for if you stand in one place for like 20 seconds, you have 20% increased crit rate. There's another one that like increases the damage of like your snipe, for example. Your really hard hitting assassination type shots require you to stand still. They're a channel. Other than that, can you play him mobile? Certainly. You even have, even in the Japanese version, I can't make any promises again towards American, I haven't played it yet. He has a stance where he gets like, he backs up 30% faster going backwards. Kiters. Dream. That stance also puts a slow on every one of his attacks. If he hits somebody, they're slowed by 15%. Like, stuff like that. He's got some mobility, but to be the really hard-hitting burst DPS of a ranger, you're going to have to get used to positioning and sitting still for a few seconds. That's how it is. That's about the only real unusual thing with Archer for him. Mage, pretty typical, a little lower in CCs than what you normally expect with Mage, but he is very high DPS. He's not quite as high as the Ranger in full I'm gonna stand still and crit you for 20 billion, but he's still the next highest DPS, and it's not that big of a gap. He has channels, he has elemental, he's got I'm willing to throw a hurricane and drag everybody in an area into the middle of this hurricane while beating the crap out of them. He's got a lot of AoE, he's got made magic shield, he's got teleport, he's got haste, all the skills that everybody loves he has. Robe wearing, staff using, badass little mage, blowing stuff up with fireballs, or freezing them, or blowing them off a cliff. Take your pick. He's got options. Paladin. Now this is where it gets a little weird. In the Holy Trinity, there's usually a couple different options, cleric or paladin. Paladin in this game is the only class that can heal. So while he is obviously going to be dedicated healer most of the time, he's also a pretty damn good tank. He's also got a lot of tricks for PvP. Is he the highest DPS? No. It's about the same as a Guardian, I think. I would probably have a better opinion on that, but he is Occupado currently playing his Paladin. Weird. But I will say from personal experience of being on the other side of a duel of one, they have some real annoying tricks. Just saying. But an all-arounder, but expect if you're doing a group content, such as a group PvP or dungeons, most likely you're going to be wanted to heal. You're the only one that can. Okay. So that's how that works. Let's just go into customization. We'll do a Moscow. So Moscow's got two different options. They can be real human, young child looking, or small animal looking. They do have defaults, all kinds of different options. Yes, I realized it. Will pop up. Okay, aha. So some really cool options going on. Funny. And yes, I realized. Yes. Get out. So, general idea of them. Yes, everything has a slider. Can you make yourself look really retarded? Yeah, you totally can. We've done it quite a bit. Walk. Yeah, like so, like that. Sliders are fun. Tattoos, face tattoos, body markings. Got a lot of them. A lot of options on what you can do. There's sliders even with this. There's a lot of fun times that can be had, including the little Super Saiyan that I made. It was really fun around with. But freckles, sure. Tattoos, facial hair, sure. Let's make it one. Scars. That loves a good scar. Totally fluid placement. Big fan of that. You make it look like you got his head cut off like so, and put it right through there like that. Like, yay! Making an old faded scar, like right. Oh, hey. So, a lot of options. A lot of customization stuff. So real quick, I'm just going to zip through some of the other races, give you a general idea here. Yeah. I realize. Gigantic wolf dude. As I said, brutal beast man. Go figure. Change his fur color, sure. You can do that, and like so, like that. This tiny. and fat. Okay. Still looks like he's a... hairstyles, all kinds of different options. A lot. You can do this if you wanted to. And do it all just with draggy things, similar to Black Desert had. Or you can do, whichever way you happen to prefer. Use the sliders that are down here, or just drag. Also you can do stuff like change the lens color. So if you this on, you can see you have the base color of the eye, and then you can change it and overlay it with whatever color you'd want, giving you pretty customizable type things with him. Yeah, cool looking. Anyway, scars again, tattoos, and this guy ends up being fur coloring patterns like so. Okay, so options there. Yes, I realize that. Taking elf and female, because I know everybody's gonna want to ask how slutty they made the elves. Not too bad, really. Okay. Over here. Okay. A lot of different options. Dark elf, white elf, tree elf, wood elf, whatever you want to make, you can make. Sliders, doing things. Yes, before all you guys asked, you have the boob slide. It's a thing. There. There's my thumbnail. Clickbait. Anyway, let's go down to here. Face tattoos. A lot of options there. Body tattoo, sure. Let's make it a tree. Previous, yes. And human, I mean, get the idea about it. Do I really have to make it? And a couple of the options for the her. Again, sliders, scars, tattoos, all the things. Including, yes, the skull face. Crowd favorite for decades. Alright, so give me a second and I will move us over to a different spot and take another clip showing off the crafting and a good way to get experience early level. And we're back. Standing next to my buddy here, they're blacksmithing. In case you were wondering, by the way, how small the little dudes were compared to other races, this right now, right next to me, is one of the Wulfe dudes, and this is me standing next to him. What's up, man? How you doing? Hey, you'd think he'd get altitude sickness up there. Yeah, alcohol sickness. But I got that too. It's blacksmith. Anyway, alright, so we're going to go over crafting. So crafting in this game is super important. I touched on it in the last video in the overview of this game, but it's super important. Really, really important. Remember it, it's important. So, there's no trading. So, if you want it, you're either getting it dropped in a dungeon, crafting it, or dungeon or wherever the hell it drops, crafting it yourself, or buying it off the auction house. Is the auction house going to price gouge you? Probably not. There's a set range of price that any one thing can be. So, you should be alright. However, you're still going to have to buy it unless you make it. So, your characters in your account, you can mail back and forth ingredients or completed stuff. So, since you can only learn one primary, one secondary crafting on each one, diversify. It's okay. I will tell you straight up, your main character, the one you're going to be doing dungeon crawling on, you probably want as an armor smith. See, when you do dungeon crawls, you get this little adventure points right here. So, I've done a lot of dungeons, and I haven't spent very many of those. Let me show you some of the prices for learning new patterns for armor. So, let's see, which level is this? This is a 37, not even in-game well, not even top-tier armor. It's 1144 for one blueprint for a fucking hat. I don't have enough to buy it. I've played straight through 41 levels, and I dungeoned a lot. So you're going to want your main dude to be an armor smith, because he's the one that's going to get the most of these to buy those, so that you can make the stuff you need. Basic facts. Honestly, and this is a sneak peek, that tip, trick thing that I'm going to put in the middle of the video, so if you made it here, congratulations. Anyway, when you're if you want to speed level, The fastest way that we have figured out to speed level is you grind yourself up to level 13. You then go to the first dungeon, which is at level 13 for both sides. Actually, are level 13. I can't remember. Yeah, there. Grind that dungeon until it stops giving you stuff. Then you go to the 22 dungeon. Trust me, by the time you grind the 13 dungeon until it ain't giving you stuff anymore, you'll be at enough level to go after your second one. Yes, 22. So then you grind that one until you can't grind it anymore. Get all the blueprints you can because they're a drop from the end of the game dungeon. I am at level 41. I am still wearing level 23 gear. This button. See? There, it's after that 22nd dungeon, you ain't finding it. Like you can't solo it or duo it. You're gonna need a full party to do 31, 37, and any of the 40 level dungeons. The first two, sure, you can solo them. You can duo them. It works just fine. After 31, or as soon as you get to that 31 dungeon, it ain't happening. It ain't. Or if it is happening, it's when you're already max level and none of the stuff in that dungeon does anything for you. So grind your way as far as you can in the dungeons. That's when you'd want to resume going with your story quest and doing the side quests and stuff like that. And most importantly, and the thing that I will show you towards the end of the video, is finding turbines. Turbines are basically take you to an alternate dimension where there is all of the crafting material nodes to harvest that you can imagine. You get 3 minutes. Go to town. Every time you're in there, there's one gold node to mine that gets you one of these gold ores, which sells for 1 gold, which is the top tier currency. So, go into a turbine, harvest a whole bunch of ore, for example. If you're an armor crafter, that's 35 per node 35 experience per node that you just harvested. Then you go into one of these things, and you go to this, and now you're going to make the steel. And it's 2 per. You just harvested, say, 600, so you're going to make 300 ore. Alright, sweet. That's 45 experience per, and experience for your crafting. Okay, so after that, I want to level up some more. Go to this. However many you have of this, buy of steel abrasive. Start making this. It's like 200 experience per pop. The cascading experience is good. That's the best way to level up. Missions work good. Follow storyline and all that stuff. Dungeons when you can. That's going to be your leveling process. There you go. Sneak peek in the middle of all of the things. Anyway, I digress. I will go find a turbine, and I will come back and show you what the turbines look like, and yeah. Okay, so this is a new one. That's a world boss. He's a temporary. He just popped up, wanders across here, and with 13 million health, he will just annihilate anybody that happens to be in his way. I bet you he gives fat loot. Fat loot. I'm gonna poke him. Come back here, you. I'm gonna poke you. You ready to? I'm about to do something dumb. Go ahead. I just want to see how hard he hits and how fast he moves, and you know the pertinence. That pertinence. Let's see what's his. That will work. Snipey, snipey. Oh god, he's fast! Oh, and he just hit me for 3,000. And he has a ranged, which hit me for 27,000. Okay. Lovely, lovely opportunity to show off how death works in this game. Don't get hit with the ranged. Okay, lesson learned. Alright, so you have the choice upon dying. You can spend the cash shop coinage to revive fully at where you're at. You can go to Reaper, which takes you to this lovely loading screen. Okay, so Reapers are these type people. You can either talk to him again and he'll revive you right there if you don't want to bother to go find your corpse, but you will take a experience hit. Now then, or you can go find your body like so, revive like so, and take no hit. But your gear, your equipment will take some durability loss. It's a thing that happens. Is sad. Okay. Oh, that's an enemy player right there. I'm recording, or else I will kill you in a moment. I promise. After I'm done recording, I will put an arrow into your left eye. Okay. Well, I'm gonna deal with that real quick. And then I'll be back. Show you guys some turbines. Okay, so now this is not a world boss. That's just an elite. See the icon? He's different, and he's only got 14,000 HP. That's Dragon Earthquake. And as you can see from the map, we are on a path. If you look right over here, you see a shiny bit right there. That's a turbine. They're usually within sight of a path. They're all scattered all the way across the map, all over the place. So, I mean, be lucky and find them, I guess. But they're not uncommon. You will uncommon words. Yeah, words. Fuck words. Anyway, you will run into them. Just keep an eye out. They're pretty easy to see because they're shiny. And, I mean, see, that stands out pretty darn good. Hop in there. And go ahead and pop in there and I'll show you what's up. Okay, so we are in here. As you can see, there's 3 different rooms. So the one to the right of those guys, this is going to be plants. This one is predominantly like alchemy type plants and cloth. You know, cloth for robes and stuff like as armor crafter. Go down in here, predominantly, again, they're mixed mashed, but this one will be the food ones. So cabbages, rice, wheat, barley, so on and so forth. And I bet you can guess that this one over here is going to be the various ores or mining area. Now then, again, as I said, you want to make sure when you do this, not as I said, but you want to make sure you have plenty of gathering tools and pickaxes at your disposal for this because of reasons. You're also probably going to want to make sure you have a blessing on. Or some experience increaser. Go ahead and talk to this dude. Tell him you want to produce something of value. Tell him you're ready. And the timer is enabled. You can see it over here on the left. You have 3 minutes. So, you kind of want to be quick about things. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So, yep, I got it wrong. This is all food stuff. The other one's the stuff for alchemy and cloth. So, first thing you want to do once you start the timer is you want to check each room real quick because in one of these rooms will spawn a gold node, which one gives you a lot of extra experience for mining, and a pretty good dose of money too when you go sell it, which, am I retarded? Did I run past it? I don't see it. What the hell? Okay. I'll do a dash. Where the hell to go? I will find it. I will find a thing. Bet it's down. Well, game. Ah, there it is. So, as you can see, it kind of blends in when it's at this bottom one. It usually stands out pretty good compared to the lefterly type one. Anyway, so that wasted a minute and 15 seconds. Plus. Go over here. Now, armor craft, I'm going to want to mine ore. Jewelry craft, you're going to want meteorite. You're going to want to mine meteorite and silver. Enchanting, you're going to want to mine rocks for the thing to make glyphs with. So you can notice I'm getting 34 experience a pop, as well as a decent chunk of mining experience, mining specific experience. So you have 3 minutes, and if I'm really hitting it, I can blow through about I don't know, probably around 50-60 of these in a trip. So a decent chunk of experience. And as I mentioned before, I got a late start on this one, and you'll see in a minute how much ore I got from doing this. Then you divide that in half, and that's how many times 40 you'll get. So like if I get 200 in here, I'll be able to get 140 experience, so 4,000 experience right there, and we'll divide that across, and I'll get 20 times 200 experience making repair tools. Like, as you can see, it cascades and increases pretty good, and it's a pretty healthy chunk of experience, so it's a useful little trick. It also gives you a gigantic pile of mats to level up your crafting skills and to sell and make stuff to sell, and so on and so forth to increase your fundage. Also, if you go and get the gold node, there's almost no overhead, because I guarantee you a gold per trip will cover however many gathering materials or crafting materials you need to buy later. So let's see, that was 106 right there, and I half-assed. So that's that. So to rehash, we went over classes, gave you a quick overview idea, class customization, and the roles of the classes. Went over crafting a little bit. Went over the turbines, told you what's cool about those. Showed you what death is like, and enjoying the company of a wandering world boss. Showed you an elite. Didn't bother to kill it because it's just an elite. You guys can handle it. Well, most of them you guys can handle it. I'll release some more content on that after the on the American patch. Went over a good way of leveling. You proceed through dungeons, and when you max out dungeons, you start doing the quests again until you end dungeons as you can for the 31, 37s. Whatever opportunity you get, do the dungeons in 31 and 37 because you're going to want the stuff out of them. And in between that, keep your eye out for turbines all the time. Be sure you're keeping your crafting skill up. That's most of the starter stuff, guys. Just keep in mind the biggest things is you can't trade with each other, so make sure you are self-independent like with your characters. That's going to do it for this one, though, guys. Leave me any comments, thoughts, questions in the comment section below. I will be live streaming and doing tutorial videos for this game once it releases on Monday. I will love to hear some questions and stuff that I can research before then, so I have answers for you. And if I need to, I'll do a video on it. And yeah, so subscribe if you want to keep up with all the new stuff and the bless that's coming out once it goes American. And as always, square up with that like button like it's your favorite hater. I will see all of you next time. Later.